There are two types of videos I see all the time. Those design trends type videos, I feel like they used to come out once a year, but now you see them multiple times a year. It's like design trends, spring break 2026. And as you can probably tell, I think those videos are stupid, and we'll get to why. The second type of video are those remodel ROI videos, so your return on investment. And they're basically just telling you how much money you're going to lose by updating your house. I think a lot of those numbers are bullshit. If your remodel is intentionally considered, well executed, and not generic, but also not kind of over-the-top expression of your personal taste, I think you'll not only get your money back from that investment, but my experience has been that you will make money from it. So those design trends videos, there's always, some new list of what's in and what's out, minimalism versus maximalism, Scandinavian design, English cottages. There's always something new, and it feels like every few months, people are told that what they have is outdated. So let's be clear. That's not design advice. That is content marketing to get you to buy new stuff. And when everyone is looking at the same lists and buying the same stuff, you end up with a generic house, which brings me to those ROI videos. So every ROI list you see, it says something like, you'll get 72% back on your kitchen remodel, or bathrooms have a 58% return. And all of that is just based on generic data. It's measuring average contractor jobs across the country. And this is how these two types of videos are intertwined. If everyone's pulling from the same what's in list, they end up with the same house. And that's how you get a generation of spaces that, technically, I guess, feel up to date, but they just feel hollow. So yeah, if you put in the same countertops or, LVP flooring that are on interior designs, best of lists, and then every contractor installs that stuff, you will probably lose money on that remodel because those are generic solutions to specific spaces. So the question becomes, how do you design something that is intentionally considered, but not so personal that it alienates everyone else? And this is the mindset that I find kind of really useful, and it comes kind of from a weird place, but it's from the great musician Brian Eno. And he talks about approaching music like a gardener rather than an architect. And I think that's an interesting approach to music, but also to building. And I know this isn't how all architects work, but I think what he means by that is that trying to kind of predetermine every little detail, from the structure to the materials to the lights to the colors to the art placement, and then after you've planned all of those little details out, executing that specific vision. Whereas a gardener just makes sure kind of the soil is really good, and then plant some seeds and see what will come up. And the crops might change over time. So keeping with this metaphor, to me, a house that has kind of good soil is one where real thought and care have been put into the materials that are the most difficult to replace. The exterior siding, the walls, the floors, the windows, the cabinetry, so that the paint colors and the fixtures and the furniture or the things you hang on the wall can best grow out of that base, and those things can change over time. So those materials that make up that soil should be these three things. One, thoughtful and quality. So not expensive for the sake of expensive, but well made, well chosen, and key, appropriate to the space. So like the quality of extreme durability found in concrete and tile for a bathroom. Two, built for longevity. So materials that can handle wear, that patina well, that get better over time. So like these stainless steel countertops, the more they get scratched up, the better they look, I think. With use, improves their quality. And three, they need to be true to their material. So, let wood be wood, let stone be stone, you can't really fake the properties of those natural materials, so don't try to do it with kind of faux light materials. And the materials don't need to be, like I said, super luxurious and costly. They just need to communicate careful consideration. When you've chosen those things with care and considered how they'll age, how do they work with each other? How do they work with the light in the room or what's outside? Then you have a great foundation or kind of soil for the personal stuff to grow out of, the stuff that is going to change much more frequently, the furniture, the textiles, the art. Those are the areas where you can, express your love for giraffes or floral prints, or my wife has a fascination with shells. And it's interesting that we've been talking about this soil metaphor, because I think the feeling that a well-designed house has is that it feels grounded. It feels honest. It doesn't feel like a trend. And I think if you do sell the home later, that kind of groundedness, that careful, thoughtful approach, that simplicity, that's what makes a house feel authentic. And authenticity is what makes your home more valuable. So I wouldn't pay attention to the design trends, and instead just learn about materials and see what's right for your space. And if you have any questions on materials, I'm happy to share what I've learned, building and remodeling stuff over the years. Or if you have materials that you really love or have used, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about them.